In this video, we're going to cover how to add, delete, and duplicate slides, as well as how to add and edit text and pictures that you want to put in those slides. Please feel free to open a Google slide to practice along with the video, and you can always pause, rewind, or fast forward as you need to. Let's start with how to add more slides. So you have a few options, and what I find to be the fastest way for just adding a slide is the little plus sign right above the slides that you've already created. This also gives you the option to choose different layouts if you click on the small down arrow beside the plus sign. So if I click on the plus sign, it just gives me a slide with text boxes that are ready to go, just the generic layout. And then if you click the down arrow, you've got some different choices. So I'm going to add a few others so we can play around with them. And then if you just want to add a blank one, you can do that too, and then we'll show you how to add your own text boxes in a little bit. If you click on slide at the top of your screen, the options are there for you to add a new slide, duplicate a slide, or delete a slide. Duplicating comes in handy if you have a layout that you want to follow, colors that you like, or something that you just want to change a little bit for each slide. You can duplicate what you have and then make those small changes without having to go through the process of doing the whole layout every time. So you can also right-click on the slide that's already there, and it's going to give you the option to add a new slide, duplicate, or delete the one that you have. If you decide that you want to change the order of your slides, you can just click on them and drag them, and it'll move them wherever you'd like them to go. If you know you have one that you want to send all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom, you can click Control, Shift, and the up arrow, and that will automatically make it your number 1 slide, or Control, Shift, and the down arrow, and now it's automatically your bottom slide. Alright, now that we have all the slides we need for our presentation, it's time to get some information on them. So let's start with our text. Most of the layouts, as you've seen, already have the text boxes for you. If you want to customize your own, you can choose a blank slide, or you can delete the text boxes that they provide. And to delete them, all you would have to do is click in the box, and you can either hit delete. Let's see, we want to get on that blue line. Click delete, or if you click on that line, then you can hit the backspace button, and that will take them away. But you want to make sure you're clicking on the border of it. I made the mistake of clicking inside, and that just deletes the text that's there, not the actual box itself. So click right on those lines, and then you can delete it. If you want to add a text box, we're going to go up here and click on the small square with the T inside, and this is going to give you those little crosshairs. So you're going to click where you want it to start. Don't let off of your click. You're going to drag it until it's the size that you want, and then you can let go, and then you have your own text box there. If you want your text to be inside a shape, you can insert a shape much like you do a text box. So you would click on the small arrow next to the square and circle icon that are together, and that's going to give you some different options. And you can choose the shape that you would like. I think we'll go with this fancy thing here. And it's going to give me those crosshairs again, and I'm going to click and drag until it's the size that I want. I'm going to let go. And if I right-click on this shape and choose to edit text, it's going to let me type right inside, well, if I can type correctly, right inside the shape. Alright, once you have your text box made and get a few things typed, you might notice that you don't like the alignment or you want to bullet certain points. So I'm going to go back to my text box, and to change the alignment, I'm going to click in the box, and then up here I'm going to find the word more. You may already see the alignment choices in your toolbar, but often there's so much going on up there you have to click more to get to them. And then we see where it says align. I'm going to choose the small arrow here, and I can align to the left, center, to the right, or I can justify it that way. So I'm going to choose to center. And now when I type, everything is centered. If you are making an outline or you want to bullet some information for emphasis before you start typing, so I'm going to go down a couple lines, you can click on either the numbered list or just the bulleted list here and choose whatever best fits your needs. So I'm going to go with these bullets here. It automatically puts a bullet for me, so I point one. When I hit enter, it makes another one. If I want to go to the next set of indent a little bit, I can hit tab and then it makes the new, make point to A, and it does that each time. When you're ready to indent more, you just hit tab and it'll make the appropriate bullet for you. And you probably already know that you can change your font by clicking right up here, and it gives you lots of options. But if you go all the way to the bottom and choose more fonts, it can take you to a much more extensive list. And once you choose one of those fonts to use, it automatically adds it to your fonts, which you have over here on the side, my fonts, and you'll see them in your initial choices from here on out. So I'm going to choose Indie Flower, and now when I go back up here, Indie Flower is automatically going to be one that I see. All right, let's pick a new slide and let's look at some images. To insert an image, you can click on the word insert right here, and you can choose image. Or you can also click on the small picture of the mountains that we have here, and it brings you to the spot where you can choose your image. So you can choose one that you have saved on your computer. If you have a camera, you can take a snapshot. You can paste a URL from a website image, or you can choose images from your albums, from your Google Drive, or you can do an image search. And any images that you find using this search are labeled for commercial use with modifications, so you don't have to worry about breaking copyright laws, which is always nice. So I'm going to do a little search for a picture. And this looks neat, so I'll click select. Takes it a minute, but then it pops up there for us. So this is entirely too large for what I want to do, so I'm going to resize it a little bit. And I definitely recommend resizing from the corners and moving in a diagonal direction, because if you pull from the sides or the top, unless that's what you're going for, it sort of stretches out the picture and distorts it a little bit. So we can also click in the middle of it once we get the 4-way arrows and put it in the best spot. You also have some editing options. So if you click on your image, then at the top it gives you image options, and you can change the coloring if you want to make it black and white, or a variety of other hues. The transparency, brightness, and contrast, I'm going to reset that so it goes back to the no recolor. And one of my favorite things that I just recently learned about is fitting the picture within a shape. So to do this, you can click on your image, then click on the small arrow beside the cropping button. So let's close this out. All right, and now you see your cropping button with a small arrow, and you can choose the shape that you want. I'm going to go with heart. And it automatically puts my picture in the shape that I choose. And then once I have it, I can resize it just like before, as needed. So I hope that something on here has been helpful for you today. And as always, if you have questions or need assistance, the ITF at your school is always more than happy to help. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.